How's it going, guys, and welcome to another video here on the Backyard Bay. My name is Mario, and in today's video we're gonna be taking care of the clutch of this van. So as you can probably remember, I mentioned in a lot of videos that the clutch needs replacing, and finally today is the day. So we've got the van ready. My cousin is moving the Audi now, and we're gonna try to level this van as level as possible, and we're gonna be lifting it up, take the wheels off, and continue from there. So as you can see, here is the brand new clutch kit. It comes with a brand new flywheel, brand new clutch, and also the pressure plate. And this, I think this is the pilot bearing. We're gonna need to replace that too, and let's have a look at it. This is the pressure plate, and it looks so good. And also, let's see what else we've got. We've got the clutch, and boy oh boy does it look amazing. Yes, I am so looking forward to it. And let's see, the flywheel doesn't look like a dual mass one, but we will see. And this is the pilot bearing with brand new flywheel nuts. Good. So with no more further talking, let's start working on it. All right, so here we've got with the van in the air, and we removed the wheels, and we already started off bad because we've got the clutch linkage that was supposed to be done before the van was up in the air. So we'll see how we sort this out. But before we figure out how to do that, I am going to drain the oil from the gearbox. Good morning, guys. Brand new day it is, and for the past couple of days we haven't made any progress because of our drive shaft. So as you can see, the left hand side one, I managed to take it out, but the right hand side one is absolutely welded inside the differential. So the progress hasn't been made because I was waiting 3 days for this tool to arrive. For those of you who doesn't know what this is a sliding hammer. So this can be used for multiple jobs. And the way this works, we have those hooks here, and this is gonna be wrapped on the drive shaft and is gonna be connected in there, and we just slide this hammer like that until the drive shaft goes out. So let's get underneath the van and let's work on it. So this is what the drive shaft looks like after I hammered it, and I've used the crowbar on it. Got nowhere near a result. So this thing is welded in there, so it's not gonna be a very hard job. It's just, if you don't have the tools, it's gonna take a lot of time. So let's go ahead and see how we're gonna use this sliding hammer. As you can see, I've got the subframe in a way, so hopefully we will manage to get it out. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, it appears to do not work with this thing either, and I don't really have the necessary room to use this sliding hammer at its maximum potential, because it's going to hit in there, so it doesn't give me enough room to play. So I'll see what I can do. I already hanged this thing up in the air just to make sure it's not on my way, but it appears like the shock is on my way with the knuckle and everything, and also the subframe. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna sort this out, but today this thing gotta go out. So probably with a helping hand holding this thing a little bit out of the way, I'm gonna be able to do it. Let's phone a helping hand now. All right, so here we have the drive shaft out, and now we are just going to unbolt every single bolt holding the gearbox next to the engine. So far we've got 1, 2, 3 bolts out, and on this side we've got this one and a couple more on top there. So we're gonna do all of them, and then we easily drop the gearbox down. All right, so I don't know how well you guys can see, but that in there is the starter that needs to go out as well. It's got one bolt there and one that can be undone from the top. With that out, and we also need to take the linkage out, and with these two undone we can access the top bolts holding the gearbox, and hopefully we can take it down. So let's see how we do this. Let's remove the starter first, and then we'll have a look at the linkage. All right, so we've got the car jack holding the engine on this side, and here we have the other jack for the gearbox. I took down the engine mount, the bottom one, and as soon as we fit this jack onto the gearbox, we go up and we take the other engine mount off, and the gearbox should be ready to go. Alright guys, so I managed to give the gearbox a little bit of a clean, and obviously before I did that with the water and stuff, I've covered every single hole that is leading inside the gearbox just to make sure we don't have any water in there. And I've also cleaned this thing as well. And now let's have a look at the pilot bearing. So this is the old one, and it doesn't look well at all. Also, there is a lot of play in there. Now let's put this down and have a look at the brand new one. Just check this out. That's way much better. So I'm assuming this goes there, and in order to be engaged, those ears here, they need to be behind that. So I'm gonna figure that out, and we're gonna put this gearbox to dry over the night, and tomorrow we will come back to the job. Alright guys, the next day it is, and let's continue on from where we left off. As you can see, we took the gearbox off, and now we have access to the pressure plate. Now remove these 6 bolts, get the pressure plate off, and then we have access to the clutch disc, and then we have a couple more screws holding the flywheel in there, and we have the whole kit removed. All right, for this job we're gonna be using a T40 and a wrench. Now I've never actually done this before myself, but I have assisted people that were doing it, and also seen a lot of videos about this, and no one would recommend using power tools on this thing. So we're gonna be using a wrench. Right, so I think we have all 6 bolts undone. Let's go ahead and take them off, and with the last one I hope the pressure plate won't fall on my face. I'm not sure if I am damaging something by rotating this thing. Hopefully I don't. I just need better access to all the bolts here. And also, as soon as we're taking all of these parts out, we are going to compare them to the brand new ones to see how much damage is being put on those. Now I want to mention, this is the original clutch the van had, from brand new to 126k miles. So I'm expecting a lot of damage here, but hopefully it's not too bad. We're gonna see that in a second. Take this off, holding my breath. Alrighty, and out she is. Okay. I bloody knew it. This clutch is still, it still have a bit of life left in it. I would say 10k miles more you would have been able to do it, but is out now. Now let's see how we're gonna take this off. Because we've got play here, and also the access to the bolt in there is not very favorable. So for the flywheel we've got a T47, but first we've got to see how I am going to block this from spinning. Oh, brakes. All right, everything is torqued to spec now, and the spec, as far as I've seen, is about 60 Newton meters. Now I hope is the correct value, because if it's not, that's gotta be a problem, and hopefully we won't have to deal with that. But I said earlier, we are going to compare the new part with the old part, so let's see the difference. This is what the new one looks like. I hope you guys can see it well, and it looks absolutely fantastic, besides the tiny dots of rust that it got there, just because this weather would not let me do anything. But anyway, let's have a look at the old one, and check this out, guys. Check this out. This one looks like I have collected it from the scrapyard. Look at all the clutch dust here. This is incredible. Look at this. And also the wear is very visible. And what else I noticed when I switched on the engine and with the gearbox on neutral, it was a very bad knocking sound. So this is what got me thinking that there is a flywheel issue. Look at the play of this flywheel. Even if you have a look in the middle here, you can see there is a lot of room in between this ring and this ring housing, and the play is a lot. And also, I don't know if you guys can see, but there are some parts here. Would it be from the ring? I don't know, but look at it in there. It's moving in there. So definitely this one will go to the trash bin. And let's check out the difference in between the brand new clutch disc compared to the old one. And very soon we will get to the pressure plate too. So like I said, this one apparently would have 10k miles left in it, so is not that thin, but compared to the other one, you can see the difference. So yeah, the brand new one looks spectacular and everything is spot on that one. And on this one I wanted to check the springs here, and all of them, they seem fine. So definitely this would have been still usable, but because we are doing this job, I am not going to keep this. So this will get with that one to the trash can. And let's see the difference in between the pressure plates. This one got a little bit of rust on it as well, and yeah, I don't think I've cleaned this one first. By the way, you need to clean this with brake cleaner and a very clean rug, not like mine, just because it's having some factory oil on it to protect it. So you need to put this dry back in there and clean as well. But compared to the other one, this one is having a lot of dust in it, and also is not that worn, but definitely it doesn't look good. And those are still good, but there is some wear around those teeth here compared to the other one. So let's give this one, the brand new one, let's give it a nice clean and to the disc, and try to fit them back in there where they belong. So with all of those nice and clean, it's time to use the clutch alignment tool, which is a laser clutch alignment tool. And those, they are for the alignment. So let's check out. Right, so we need to open this up. In order to push it there. I don't know much about this tool, so probably some of you who used this before, you're sitting there watching me how stupid I am right now, but it is what it is. There we go. Yeah, this will probably do it. And what is very important is when you're aligning the clutch disc, you need to make sure this side, the wider side, goes towards the pressure plate, and this straight side goes towards the flywheel. So how this goes, it goes like that. And with this alignment tool, I'm gonna show you in a second. Alright, so as you can see, the clutch disc is aligned. There is the same gap distance everywhere, which means the disc is sitting perfectly on the pressure plate. Now we're gonna take this whole thing and mount it there where it belongs, and then we remove the alignment tool. Right. Let's see which way this goes. Right. But first, gotta remove that. All right. It's not gonna sit, is he? Nah. Okay. Pull one more. All right. Hand tight should do it. For now, you just want to check if all the bolts, they will go where they should, and they do. Let me check the torque spec for those. All right. So as you can see, it says 23 Newton meters. Now let's hope. Nope. My torque wrench can't do that. So we'll just do it by hand. It's always very important to go in a cross pattern. This way you're going to do it evenly everywhere. We need two more. There is one. And the other one, where? That's not good. That's not good. Oh, here. Okay. Alright, so I thought I am recording, but I actually wasn't. So let me tell you guys what you just missed. Fortunately, you haven't missed a lot. So what I did, I managed to put the gearbox back in its place. Is not holding in all of its bolts just because I need to access everything from the top, and I'm not tall enough to reach in there. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to finish everything underneath and then lower the van on its wheels, and then do everything that I have to do from the top. So I managed to put the gearbox back on, and right now I am working on the starter. There we are, on the starter motor right there. So it's holding in 3 bolts like this one here. They're very long and very hard to access them. So I'm gonna manage to put this back on, and then it's probably the time. Oh, and I've done the linkage as well, the clutch linkage as well. Put it back on there, and as soon as I am done with the starter motor, probably it's time to put the drive shafts back in. Now, big bolt. Made here and fit the drive shaft in there too. There we go. Okay, that should be all the way in. Now let's have a look for the other nut. Alright guys, so if you work on vehicles, just what I'm trying to do here, please don't be like me and work organized. Now pretty much everything I'm looking for, I just cannot find it, and that's a big problem. I'm gonna have to redo the ball joints just because I destroyed them when I removed them from the lower arm. All right, so I am back underneath the van, and I was just having a look at the drive shafts if they are all the way in, and this one is, and the other one is as well. And also for this bearing here, for the drive shaft extension, we will have two more screws here, and also this kind of thing that will go that way. So this is probably a safety for the drive shaft, I don't know, but I'll put this back on with its screws, which are those, and see what's next. All right, so the drive shaft is secured. Also, I've done a couple of bolts that were missing in here. Also the clutch piston, I put it back on, and I don't see any more missing things in here, so I am pretty sure now is the time to deal with the subframe, which is a very heavy thing, but we're gonna use the car jack for that. you! Jesus Christ! Oh my god, you piece of son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. You are getting there. You are getting there. That's a mother screw. That's a mother screw. God, how much I fucking hate this thing, you know? And this. Fuck out of here. Alright, so a million years after I managed to put this stupid subframe back on, and I've done this gearbox mount as well. Now what I have to do is to take care of the control arms. Those I'm gonna have to bolt that back on the subframe, and this is what I'm gonna be doing now. Alright guys, that was pretty much everything about the subframe. What I'll have to do now is to put the lower arm back on. So let's see how we do this, but we're making some progress, that's for sure. Okay, so to put the lower arm back on, it shouldn't be that difficult, but I've said that before and I got proved wrong. So I think it was smart to put this back before the subframe arm. Now the disc is on my way. Now because we've got that in there, I think it would be the best to put this screw back on. Definitely you guys can see it. I really do apologize for that. I don't have a light. Now it's going. Okay, let's make quick work of this. Is it a 19? I think it's a 19 or 18. 18 that is, but I got the 19, should work just fine. Okay. Alright guys, it got pretty late, but I managed to finish the right hand side, and as you can see, there is a brand new ball joint. So what I have to do is repeat the exact same process on the left hand side. Alright guys, so it seemed like we've made a lot of progress. Now as you can see, the other ball joint is installed already, and I've managed to put the wheel back on. And what is left for us to do now is to remove the jack stands, lower the van, and get up here and sort out everything is missing here. So I would have loved to do that now, but obviously it's raining, so I'll see how much I can do, and then I will let you guys know. So meanwhile, putting everything together, I've noticed why this tire is always losing air, and I found that in there. That is a problem because I don't have a spare wheel, so I'm gonna have to fix that. And there are a couple of methods we can fix a tire puncture, especially if it's on the middle here. If it's on the edge, you need a new one. But with this one, there are some silicone screws. You basically remove that one and you put a silicone screw back in there with a screwdriver. It's just a temporary fix, obviously. Or there are some tire repair kits on Amazon, and I'm gonna have to order myself one, and probably tomorrow I'll have this one fixed, and maybe the van will be ready, if of course if the rain stops. All right guys, now is the moment of truth. As you can see, I've got everything back together. I don't know how well you guys can see, but everything is back in its place, and all we have left to do is just to connect this, and I can already hear some things going on. So let's get inside the van and check out. This is my improvised window, as you can see, just because before I disconnected the battery and the ECU, I've had the window open. So we've got back, and the first thing I want to do is just to shut this window. All right, and we've done that. The other one is closed. We'll come back tomorrow, and what we're gonna be doing tomorrow is to pump some gearbox oil into the gearbox, and then we will do engine oil change. All right, so we are in the next morning, and last night I haven't recorded, but I put everything back together, and now it's pretty visible compared to last night. All I have to do next is just to fill up the gearbox, but before that I'm gonna have to drain everything is in there, because I've done kind of a gearbox flash with some gearbox oil, just to make sure I get rid of everything bad is in there. So I'm gonna have to drain everything is in there, tighten up the drain plug, and then fill the gearbox up with the brand new oil. And I'm gonna have an engine oil change as well with the oil filter. What I've done in the meantime, it was just to bleed the clutch. So I don't know if you guys can see from up here, but down there is the clutch piston, and on that clutch piston there is a nipple like the one you see on the calipers when you bleed the brakes. This is exactly what I've done. Is the same process. You need 2 people for that. You can do it yourself as well, but it's way harder. You need someone to press the clutch and someone else to open and close that nipple there. So I've bled the clutch, and let's go underneath now and drain everything is in the gearbox. Okay, so I've got everything pretty much set up. I'm just gonna have to access the drain plug, and I'm not going to need the spanner just because it's loose already. And what I'm gonna have to do is try to get some more room underneath here, just because the van is not on jack stands anymore, and try to do the slide thing like before, and I cannot reach it. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay, let's see how we do this. That's gonna be a bit more complicated than I thought it's gonna be, just because I don't have access. I may make a mess around here, which is unwanted. Alright.
So there is a bit of spillage, but is not as bad as I thought it's going to be. Okay, so that's gonna stay like that. Make sure I drain all of it, and I'm gonna go up, get the brand new oil ready, and by the time this is done, I'll have everything prepared for the next step. Alright, so 5 minutes later, I managed to put the drain plug back on, and this gearbox is not like pretty much every single gearbox to have the filling plug above the draining one. So the filling plug is up here, and it does have this what you call it, it does have this lid or cover. So we remove that, and I don't think it's visible. Let me put the light up for you guys. The filling plug looks like that one there. So you can see it looks like a pipe. There is where we're gonna put the oil through, and as soon as we're done, we need about 1.8 liters of gearbox oil. As soon as we're done with that, we just put the cover back on, and we will fire up the engine, see what kind of job we did. So let's go ahead and fill that thing up with oil. So what I've done for this, just because the funnel I've got is a bit larger than the hole of that pipe, I just put a small pipe in there, and I am going to insert it right there, and there she is. And now I've got the funnel here, and I'm going to start filling up with oil, just to make sure we don't get any impurities in there, if I can call it that way. So now the funnel is ready. I'm going to bring up the oil. Now the oil we're going to be using is a manual gear oil, 75W. This is the one that is recommended, and this bottle is 1 liter. We need around 1.8, if I'm not wrong. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour an entire bottle, and we will do the math for the second one. So let's easily start pouring oil in there. Alright, so you definitely cannot see, but we've got 1.8 liters into the gearbox, and the way I can tell we've got 1.8 liters, you can see the 250 milliliters left in there, mark in there, and if I hold the bottle straight, we should have about 200 milliliters left in this bottle. so it should be 1.8 into the gearbox. Now let's put this cover back on. Let me remove the phone from there. Okay, and the cover back in. There we go, it clicked in place. And now I think it's time. I think it's time to fire up the engine. And I am going to tell you, I am very nervous about this. So I stated earlier in the video that I've never done this before, the clutch replacement and stuff, but I was next to someone who was doing it, so I can say I've learned a thing or two, and that's why I wasn't afraid to do it myself. Well, I needed some help. As you could probably see in the video already, my cousin helped me with what was hard, like the gearbox movement and stuff. I would say on this job, the gearbox removal and the gearbox lifting back in place was the hardest thing to do on this job. The only thing I am a bit scared of is the torque spec for the flywheel. So I've checked a lot of forums, a lot of websites, because in the owner's manual doesn't say that, doesn't say how to do it properly, how to torque spec everything. And also the clutch kit is Luke, which is the same kit I've had before in this van. So the old one is the same manufacturer, but the kit did not come with any instructions, so I had to guess. So the torque spec for the flywheel was in between 60 and 70 Newton meters. Now I hope is the correct thing, because if it is, we're about to find out, and if it's not, we're about to find that out too. So with no more further talking, let's hear the van fire up first time after this job. I cannot tell you how happy I am. She fired up. The engine is so much more quieter now. And also, I don't know if you guys can spot this, but the engine doesn't shake as much as it used to. It's so much more quieter. Oh my god, I am so happy. So happy I am. So the job that I've been doing for, I think it took 2 weeks, just because I didn't have the time, the weather didn't let me do it. So this video cost me about 2 to 3 weeks to produce, but finally very soon, in a day or two, will be up for you guys. Oh my god, I am so excited I am. I'm just gonna clean everything up, all the mess in here, and take the van for a spin. And oh my god, I am so bloody happy right now. We have no lights on the dash, which is absolutely great. It means I haven't forgot any connectors in there, so everything is put back together as it was supposed to be, and I am actually pretty impressed. But I've got absolutely no screws left, so everything is back. Hopefully is back everywhere it should be. But she runs perfect. She runs perfect. Just listen to this. Holy crap, I am so bloody happy right now. I am so happy I cannot tell. Right, I'm just gonna clean everything up, take her for a spin. So currently I am stuck in traffic, and I was just testing out the new clutch, and I have to tell you, this is way smoother than it was before. So I can't tell yet, because I've just done probably a mile and a half, so I haven't driven the van for a long time. I cannot tell I have done a perfect job, but I am way happier with the van now than what it was before. And I also checked the gearbox, and the gearbox is absolutely fine in all the gears, so works as it should. It's just a bit stiff going from the first gear onto the second, but the rest of the gears up to 6 is very good. And as you can see, we're moving nicely. The clutch pedal feels a bit different than what it was before. I don't know how to describe this. It's not harder, but it's not softer either. So I am not sure how to say that, but I am pretty sure I can get used to it. So let's go, guys. Right, this was a little bit of a harder start. As you can see, it was a little bit of shake there, but as far as I know, for the first 500-600 miles, I'm gonna have to be extremely careful and gentle with a brand new clutch. And now, as you can see, we're in the 3rd gear, and she works absolutely phenomenal. I am so happy with this. 2nd gear now. Right. And I want to say I apologize for the noise of the tools that is in my van, but I didn't get a chance to clean it. I'll do it after this trip. But yeah, it's so much nicer, so much nicer, so much easier to drive, if I can put it this way.